channel yet, Matt?
Well, the town does, I don't.
That's awesome.
Great. Matt's not gonna give out his YouTube channel. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Janet's gonna lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Privilege of the floor. Anything you wanna address us on, Richard? Seems you're the only public other than elected officials here, I guess.
I see I'm under old business. I don't know if that's talking about me personally as old or.
Nah, we would never say that.
I do have one thing under old business though. The microphones are not working.
Yeah, that's, I don't know why. We got some kind of electromagnetic field here that shorts them out, or?
They go to sleep after 50, 60 seconds. When they work, they're great,
Yeah,
but they go to sleep.
I'll have to, maybe I can take one out of here and bring it up to the school. I mean, does anybody have any opposition to that? It's easier to get them to look at it up there.
yeah.
And it's, all of them are doing the same thing, or one of them's doing it.
As far as the one in front of you and the front of the supervisor, definitely. I don't know about the other
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanna take one up, have them look at it, see
Yeah.
if they can figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from January 8th. With Matt's suggestion, you put a comma in between there.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business. We got anywhere with the franchise agreement, Matt?
No, it's still in their court.
Okay. Well, we'll look for next month. Okay, the audits were completed on the justice court, the town clerk, tax collector, and the bookkeeper. And we just need to make sure that gets in the minutes also, so we can verify that we did our due diligence. And according to all reports, everything is good. All right, so we'll look to hear. Next question is for Darren. Do we know yet when the new truck is supposed to get here?
No,
Cause I'm kinda twiddling my thumbs here, cause I'm probably gonna have to do a bond anticipation note to pay for the balance on it until we get some grant money.
no,
So I guess, we must be close.
yeah, I would guess in 2 weeks, but 2 weeks ago, I guess. in 2 weeks.
Not sure which 2 weeks it is.
Yeah,
We've been hearing that for how many months?
yeah. If you looked in the report too, it, while it was sitting up there, getting its equipment on it, they found the power steering leak. So it's going back to a Tracy dealer, which is right next door to Henderson, to get that fixed under warranty. Once it's all complete, it's gonna go there, then it's gonna get trucked to us.
How do we manage to break something before we even get our hands on it?
It's our luck.
Well, given that, I talked to, Joan Blankamp that did our band for the pool project.
Yeah.
And she can quickly draft us up one. We would have to approve it at our next regular meeting. So hopefully the truck doesn't come in next week, but if everybody's agreeable, I will get the information to her and get her to get it drafted so we're ready, hopefully before the truck gets here. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Mark, do you have a sense of how much is owed on that? How much
Will
the
be-
ban will be for, I'm sorry? Approximately?
Probably around 160,000.
Okay,
And
thank
we've
you.
got 75,000 coming in grant money. And the other, we kinda need to figure out where we are on the highway garage roof. We could pay for the truck, and then bond for the highway garage roof, where we can bond the truck for a couple of years and pay the roof out of the building fund. So that'll be a decision for another day. SUNY courtroom, the judge has an announcement.
Yes, to please the board, with the help of trustee Bill Carnes, we've had the SUNY students over to take a look at the courtroom, take measurements, and they've been here twice now. This is the third actually visit they've been here. I sent a letter out inviting the entire board to a presentation that the students were gonna make to the town board, scheduled for Friday, March 8th from noon to 2. We got word this week that they have to change the time on the Friday, March 8th to 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I have letters here that want to make sure I hand delivered. I'll give them to the clerk and she can give them to all the board members. You're all invited to be there for this. Now what's happening is this, as part of this semester's program, they've divided the students into 6 teams. That's the count that we had when this all started. I'm assuming it's still the same. And the 6 teams now are going to put their team members to design a redesign of the courtroom as part of their semester's work. And they're gonna present that to us on March 8th. Now, we've asked them in writing to give us those plans in advance of March 8th so we can take a look at them and know what they're about. And they said that's not gonna be feasible, so it's not gonna happen. We're gonna see them the first time when we get there on Friday, March 8th, and at 10 o'clock. And I really wish everybody would come, because we'll be in this situation. Let's assume there are 6 plans. We may be able to adopt something from Plan 1 and something from Plan 3, but ultimately we give us a chance to look at the plans and decide what fits best. And the sooner we can make a decision, and the sooner, if the board finds something acceptable, we can move forward with that plan. So I wanted to give you a heads up that the time has been changed for that Friday day from till 10 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. And it's at the Centennial Hall, Sanford Hall, room 250 at the campus. And the purpose of them having it there is they're gonna make an electronic presentation with screens, slides, and all the rest of this stuff. So it ought to be a pretty fancy deal for us as far as that hall's concerned. And the purpose from the school's perspective is to give these students the opportunity to present a plan to, if it was a regular homeowner or a business owner or something like that, this would be part of the way they're gonna be judged and evaluated as far as the performance is concerned. So the ball will be in our court, looking at those plans to let them know if we like one, or if we want a combination of them. We'll have a chance after that meeting or during that meeting. We will be able to ask questions relative to the plans or whatever they discussed with us at that time. So the more of the board members that can make it there, I've invited everybody, from the town clerk to the board of assessors to the bookkeeper, everybody possible that is in this building to come to that meeting as well. We're all welcome. They assure me there's plenty of space in this room 250 to accommodate a bunch of people. So we're not gonna be short on seats or anything else as far as that was concerned. Then we've done one other thing, which I'd like to incorporate as part of this. Town of Hamden has been very successful in having an ATM machine put in at their town hall. And the town court has found it tremendously efficient that people who come in, instead of having to go through a credit card application or giving a check or anything else, they go to the ATM machine, they get cash, gives it to the town court clerk, and it's a done deal. So there's no paperwork at all. So Wayne Marshfield, the supervisor over there, has made a recommendation, and the fellow that's installed the ATM machine, and it was news to me, I didn't realize that you don't have to be a bank, you could be a private person to install these ATM machines. So there's a fellow from Hamden by the name of Rob Muroff, M-U-R-O-F-F, who installed the machine that's at the town of Hamden Town Hall, and it's located outside the building there. So everything is run through him. People come in with their bank, credit card, whatever it is, and, you know, it's all through them. They collect the cash, come back into the court, and they pay the court fees, or they can go to the clerk's office and pay whatever licensing fees or whatever the town clerk there has to be done. The plan that we have, which he's left with us this afternoon, we all met with him, I shouldn't say we all met with him. Elsa Schmitz and I and the town court clerk met with him, and so Frank Bovee, as a matter of fact, to go over what the plan would be like for this ATM machine. So it turns out he'll have a formal contract that we would review and see if it's acceptable. It's absolutely no cost to the town. The machine gets installed in a location that we select that's feasible for him to use. He recommends that it be in a sheltered location. So outside presents that problem, where if we locate it outside, is there someplace physically within the building that we could put it here in the building? That would be the best scenario as far as that's concerned. All he needs is electric, someplace to plug the machine in, and he needs the internet to hook up his machine to the internet for his computer and the ATM machine to work through his machine as far as that's concerned. But it's at no cost to us as far as the installation or the operation of the machine is. His company is fully responsible for the maintenance of the machine. The machine gives an automatic warning if in fact the amount of money in the machine is low or it's not working. They send out a signal. He's got a staff, so he tells us that we come to service the machine or restore or replenish the machine with money. So I really would like us to take a look at these contracts, because I think the ATM machine would be a big help, especially to the court, because we have many people that just don't have the ability to pay cash when they come in to pay fines and such like that. And many times they ask, well, can you take a credit card? Now, we've exhausted the avenues of getting a credit card machine. The problem that persists today is, unfortunately, the companies that were approved by the Office of Court Administration have had problems with the working of those machines. There's been screw-ups with the accounting, and getting the things charged to the right account, all sorts of stuff. And there's a big paper trail as well. There is a new program that came out, and I've spoken to the clerk at the Village of Walton, and she tells me they've now gone to the new version with a completely different plan, and it seems to be better than the old plan, but they still don't have the bugs out of it. So ideally, and that's the only reason why we never went with the credit card machine, because we had reports constantly that the machines, the credit card machines, just weren't working. They were more trouble than they were worth. So the way this thing works with this gentleman in the ATM machine that he's interested in putting here, is that each transaction that takes place, there's a charge to the person using it that he collects, and then part of that then is shared with the town. So there may be, or will be, income coming to the town, whoever used that ATM machine, that the owner of the ATM machine will be compensating the village at the end of each month, depending on the number of transactions that take place during that month. So the better volume he has, the more profitable it will be for him, and we certainly would have generated income coming from that. So he's dropped off a package that I'm going to leave with with Elsa, so that you can circulate it to people, so that you can take a look at it. So I think the ATM machine is really the best thing that could happen in the overall picture, because not only will it enable us to collect the monies, but collect them timely, because the people, many of them, especially the college kids, all have an ATM card.
Yep.
So they can come in here and the money would be there. They don't carry cash, but they have the ATM card. So I'm gonna leave these with Elsa, and she will distribute that to the board, so you'll have those contracts, the proposed contract, and what he needs to do with the machine. Wherever it's gonna be located, it has to be mounted into cement, so that it's secured, can't be drugged away, and the rest of that business. And it just needs the outlet as far as that all is concerned, for the electricity and the connection with the internet. And other than that, there's no other big thing that has to be done. And the question that came up today, he was made aware that we're talking about reconfiguring the court, and the question was if, in fact, the town decides to do a reconfiguration, he could put that machine in today. It wouldn't be a big deal for him. All he needs is the outlet and the internet connection. So he can put that in, but have to be mounted into the floor. And I have no problem. If we do it within the courtroom, someplace here or in the vestibule, he walked around the building. Outside might be an issue because there really isn't a suitable place right now. If we tried to do it outside, we need some place that would have to have some sort of a roof
Yeah, you'd have to have some
and,
kind of a
and,
porch
and a
roof or
cement
something.
pad, cement pad.
Yeah, the only place we really have that currently is right over on the front corner of the highway garage.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Is there
that's what we
anything
talk
over there?
about. We didn't think about looking across the street. You know, we were thinking about the days
Yeah.
when Elsa has the lines almost out the window for the, you know, for fishing licenses and hunting license and payment of taxes and the rest of that. I think that would be a big
Right.
assist for her.
I like the idea personally, you know, if everything's favorable, the efficiency and all of it just seems like a good way to go.
Well, those are the two things I think that are really, are the ATM machine, I really hope that we can find a way, and the location is really the biggest thing, where do we put it? He needs an overhang. The location in Hamden is outside the town hall, but they have like a porch, so it's sheltered from rain, direct rain and the rest of that business. So, again, I never thought across the street, that certainly wouldn't be a big deal as far as that was concerned. If they're here, they can certainly go across the street to get to the ATM machine, that wouldn't be a big deal at all. So those are the two things that we're talking about, but I really hope, once you get to take a look at these things, you let us know, relative to the ATM machine, whether you think it's worthwhile. He's perfectly willing, he said he would come in to meet and address the board to answer any questions you have about the ATM machine. So he's perfectly willing to do that, it was just short notice. He was lucky, we were lucky we got to meet him today, but he certainly said he would be able to come in, he just couldn't come tonight. So that'd be the ATM machine, and like I say, the student presentation on Friday, March 8th is really something that I hope everybody from the board can come to see those plans as they're presented and to ask questions, and we'll just take a look at it and see what it is. We have no idea at this point what they're gonna look like. I know they've been like bees coming in here. Like I say, they've been here for the third time taking measurements all over the place, so we'll see what they propose.
Okay.
All right, any questions? If not, I'll leave the papers with Elsa,
Yep.
and she can give them to the board members. Ms. Elsa. Okay.
Yeah, also, if you could make copies for all the board members and then, email over a set to Dave Merzick to look at.
Where's it going?
So our attorneys had a chance to look at it too. It does make sense. I never thought about the one that was down in Hamden. It never dawned on me that it was used so much by the court.
All right.
I just thought it was because there wasn't an ATM in Hamden at the time. They just went out front of the town hall.
The judge there tells me it's been like night and day for her, because it really works out well, because they have, the gas station across the way has an ATM machine in that place. But boy, putting it there at town hall, she said, has made such a difference for them, and they certainly don't have any near the volume that we have here as far as the cases are concerned. So this gentleman was really interested because his business is all based on the volume and the number of transactions. So he really is interested in trying to get his foot in the door here in our court. So if he meets with everybody's, after looking at the contracts and the rest of that, that'll be great.
Well, sounds like a very, very interesting idea.
Yeah, that individual contacted the town back when they put the one in Hamden. And for some reason, we just never continued to pursue it, you know, but I think it's a good idea. But I know it was brought to our attention once before, but we never
Move
ever
forward.
carried through on it. And I don't know why we didn't, but we just didn't.
Okay. Under old business, we've had, requests about fire tower discussions again. I've kept it off the agenda at this point. I've got a meeting with Paul Rush and Dave Warren on the 28th of this month. I've got some serious questions that I don't seem to be able to get an answer from. One of which is New York City, when they buy land, it has to be vacant land. They cannot buy land with buildings on it, so anything that has structures has to be subdivided off. Once they purchase the land, they have to put an easement on it that will no longer be open to development. They also have to give an easement to New York State DEC as part of the water supply permit, the memorandum of agreement. So I'm not sure they can even give us permission to put a structure on their property. So I've got about, I think, 5 or 6 questions that Dave Merzig and I have come up with. I'm gonna put it in writing, I'm gonna hand deliver the letter to Paul, who's the deputy commissioner for DEP, and see if he can take it back to New York City's legal and find out whether there's even a possibility of moving forward with the fire tower before we get any more discussions on details. But, and then there's other issues with, road access, whether or not we would have to do a stormwater pollution prevention plan, and all this other stuff. I mean, the only thing they approached us with was paying insurance. That's one thing, but we've got a lot of other issues too that we need to address. So I'm gonna bring it up because, we have a quarterly partnership meeting with New York City, CWC, CWT, Delaware County, and WAC. Every quarter we meet to discuss local issues, and I'm gonna bring this one up again with a letter requesting information from New York's legal department. So we can, if they say we can, or we can, or whatever, at least we have it in writing, If it can't be done, it can't be done. If it can be done and there's steps to follow, then at least we'll have the steps. But until we get some information, I'm not gonna really get too much more involved in fire tower issues. I think we all know what they wanna do. I don't know that anybody thinks the fire tower's a bad idea, but, we need to make sure we cover all the bases and cover the taxpayers. Cause I don't wanna get into the thing and then have somebody file a lawsuit that said, oh, well, you shouldn't be able to build it. So, like I said, I'll give them the information on the 28th, and hopefully New York City Legal will get back to us sometime in the near future, if at all. Trying to get an answer out of them is not easy, but they're the ones that are gonna make the final call, so that's where we need to start this.
Thank you for advocating for us
Yeah,
and for pushing it forward and
yeah,
not letting it
like I
die.
said, we've got it's come up as part of the ongoing negotiations for watershed, because we want land back. They're telling us, well, we can't give you land back because there's this easement and there's that easement. So, and they're telling us it's impossible to do. Well, if it's impossible to do, then it should be impossible for the fire tower. If they can do it for the fire tower, then they ought to be able to do it for giving some other land back, so. We're gonna kind of put them in between a rock and a hard place and see what they, have to say. I'll keep you informed. Okay, any other old business? If not, we'll move on to new business. Has everybody got a copy of the budget amendments to finish out 2018, get the accounts balanced out? Anybody have any questions on any of them? If not, do I have a motion to approve the budget amendments?
So move.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Annual financial report, Delhi Joint Fire District. the left side, the left wing of our party was sitting on the information here. Give you guys a chance to look at that before we go on that. While you're looking at that, we'll go on St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 23rd.
Glenn Niels has asked if they could use our building again, to open the building up for them.
Everybody okay with that? They have in the past. All right.
Do we have, he'll need a key, right? Or unless somebody's.
I'm
gonna-
assuming that however you've done it in the past.
I think, well,
He's just
Matt-
called and asked for
yeah.
it, so.
Matt or somebody has usually either been here or
Right, that's what he said too.
given somebody in charge a key.
And also, I talked to the girls at the village and we may do a float together, if we can have the time to get it all going, we're gonna do.
You can ride and pack the truck and freeze
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Is the mayor gonna let me ride with him?
You and Rich walk, okay?
We're good buddies. Some days. Okay. Approval of the pool bill, Jefferson and Son, 657870.
So move.
Is there a second? Somebody ought to second it, because everybody's already initialed it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So you can let Brian know,
Yeah, I email him.
and that's something we need to, you and I need to meet on that pool bond.
Yep, give me that. That's due in July.
Yep. But I think we could probably do a partial payment there, which we kind of agreed to.
Oh, we could, yeah, we could. And at this point, yeah.
I mean, we don't wanna go to zero, because we're still waiting on grant money on some of it too, so.
Yeah, I'm waiting, I got 180,000 coming from Parks and Rec sometime between now and the middle of April. And
And
Glenn
we're still
Niels
waiting on the 100,000
from,
from.
yeah, Glenn told me that he was gonna come on Monday down to my office, and then he goes, oh yeah, you're closed that day. So, that's coming also someday. Chris Monachek retired, so now we don't, somebody else's grant now.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to accept the annual financial report of the Delhi Joint Fire District?
Oh, did we gotta do the, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we did that.
No, they're, just, I was giving Billy and Matt a chance to look at it.
Oh, okay. But we had to do the agreement for ISD too.
No, I threw it in the reverse, I'm going backwards.
I make a motion to accept the Delhi Joint Fire District financial report.
Okay, is there a second?
Bill?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, ISD yearly service agreement. Cause Elsa keeps messing up her computer.
We've got the agreement here, but Janet had submitted a question to them regarding whether it includes cybersecurity and waiting for a response on it. I mean, we can sign it as is, presuming that they're going to be agreeable, or we can delay. I guess I'm kind of inclined to sign, but I think we need an answer to that question too.
They do put security programs on our computers, but,
It's not specifically stated
Yeah.
there.
okay.
So, I mean, we could make a note that we're signing this with the understanding that,
They will continue to provide the
this,
security measures. that
did
they
you
have
want to
been.
see more added than what they've done, or we just want it referenced?
Just reference.
Just reference.
Okay, so let's do that, let's
All
just say.
I'll
we want
entertain a
that.
motion then, we accept the ISD yearly service agreement with the notation that we wanna see continue cybersecurity.
Well, it's
Included
just,
in the-
it's really just firewalls, it's
Yeah,
not
it's-
cyber
Yeah,
per
it's
se. just,
It's
they
just
put
programs that
firewalls
hopefully-
on the, I mean, I use them for my office.
Okay.
So I know they put the we have firewalls and they maintain that for us and keep all the computers updated, with that service. But it isn't really cyber security, that's a whole other deal.
It needs to be added to appendix A.